Hello, my name is RemovableSanity, and today I'm reviewing Lost in Random: The Eternal Die, developed by Stormteller Games and published by Thunderfall Publishing. So what is Lost in Random: The Eternal Die? Lost in Random: The Eternal Die is a fast-paced isometric action roguelite set in the whimsical world of Random. The premise is you take on the role of the main boss from the prequel. Here you play as Queen Alexandra and her die companion Fortune as you battle twisted foes, wield powerful relics and abilities, and roll the dice to escape this nightmarish realm. The game boasts unpredictable challenges, tactical combat, wield card-based abilities, and risk-reward dice mechanics for thrilling second-to-second battles. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, there is a good variety of options available. Screen shake, easy mode, button remapping, dice throw sensitivity, mini-map size, and a good selection of subtitle options. Audio options are better than the norm too, with UI volume adjustments, which means a lot more people can really enjoy this game for what it has to offer. Next up is gameplay. The genre of roguelites is becoming increasingly full, so with each new one coming into the space, each one is looking for ways to keep it fresh and engaging. To help with this, franchises not known for being roguelites are entering the space. Dynasty Warriors and their take on the franchise with Warriors Abyss is a perfect example of this. So to hear that Lost in Random, an action-adventure game, was now entering the genre, it did bode me with some questions. Can they translate their action-adventure game into a roguelike world without it losing the essence of what made it appealing? Well, let's find out. The game starts with you taking control of the main boss from the first game. Thankfully, you won't need to have played the first to understand what happened, but it would be wise to play it to get the full context of the game's lore. You awake in a strange realm with your companion, Fortune, a sentient six-sided dice that becomes a unique weapon to use against your enemies. Not knowing how long you have been there, you realise that you have become weak compared to how you originally was. A powerful, imposing adult figure has been reduced to a seemingly weak child. However, you stride forward with your broken sword and dice companion to kill Mare, the being that trapped you within this nightmare world. This soon becomes the tutorial mode in which for you to understand the mechanics of the game and the game's cycle you will soon become familiar with. You will fight through procedurally generated rooms, each providing you with a reward before moving on to the next. Once enough has been done, you will find a room leading to the biome's boss, which you will need to defeat to enter the next biome. When you die, you will be transported to the game's hub called the Sanctuary, where you meet fellow trapped NPCs. Here you can buff yourself, pick a new weapon and buff that, and also pick up specific NPC quest lines, which in turn will give you much more needed rewards. It starts off pretty light and bare, but as you make your way through the game, more NPCs will join you, making this room a soon crowded and interesting place. Permanent character buffing called Blessings is here, where you need to spend collected pip dust in order to purchase said buffs. These buffs themselves vary from evade distance increase, more health, more damage to buffing your companion's attack, etc. You can equip 12 at a time from a collection of 24. Each of these has varying levels and uses based on your particular preferences. As mentioned, you can also purchase different weapons, with 4 being on offer. The sword is the weapon which you start with from the beginning, but the bow, lance and hammer are soon available for purchase. Similar to Blessings, these also have buffs called enhancements, which come in the form of 4 skill trees, each with 3 perks. They can drastically change any weapon's main or charged attack, and you will need to use collected Cinder in order to purchase them. For me, the bow was my favourite for its long distance attack, and the damage enhancement tree was perfect for their out of view killings. Once you have upgraded your character, it's back into the game world to try and progress as far as possible and gather more resources in order to increase your character's survivability. Combat is simple but effective, with you having a light attack by using the X button, which will give you a variation of combos the more you press it. You can use a charge attack by holding the X button down, which depending on the weapon will produce varying bigger attacks. Whilst there is no parry, there is a dash option by using the A button, which is perfect for escaping attacks, getting close when needed, or crossing environmental pitfalls. As mentioned earlier, you can throw your companion by holding the B button, which then allows you to target specific areas of the map as you see fit. Once thrown, the dice causes a plus 10 area damage effect based on what you have rolled. Roll a 2 when throwing him and you do 20 plus damage. Do a 6 and you do 60 plus damage. You also have a special attack that can be used by pressing the Y button. Each card has also an extra damage attack, which is done by holding the button and releasing during a flash to create a perfect card attack. By picking up these special cards, 2 per biome, with 15 in total defined, it provides you with some amazing abilities to take down even the hardest of foes. One of my favourites was a wave of fire that causes those caught in it to gain burn damage. These are also charged up by attacking and picking up energy shards your enemies drop with each attack, and stops you from spamming said attacks. Some of these specials allow multiple charge attacks, while others might need the entire gauge to pull off. Each is very specific and worth using at the correct time in order to change the battle. Alongside the attacks is the game's gameplay buff mechanic, which is all about collecting relics within a Connect 3 grid style format. As you make your way through each room, you'll pick up a reward within a coffer, which varies from relic, die, pearls, coins and cinder. Relics are one of over 100 special abilities imbued with damage magic that can amplify each of the 5 varying buffs based on their colours. Their abilities vary wildly, with one creating a cloud that shocks nearby enemies. Others may send a trail of fire when you throw fortune, and finding a new one is always cause for celebration. With regards to the buffs, these are red, weapons, yellow, cards, blue, dice, purple, conjurations, and green, luck. To increase these, you need to match 3 colours in a row, which will then remove said colour and just leave behind the special skill it had, or if it had none, will be removed from the grid entirely. Pearls are non-skill items that are there to simply provide you with a specific buff only. Coins are exactly what they are and are used to buy items at a particular vendor found in each biome. In the early stages of a run, the limited number of slots are easy to work with, but as you progress and gain more special skills, you may need to remove a previous ability in order to get that required buff. Replacing won't lose the previous buff in question, just the ability that you are replacing. It's this in-game mini-game that makes you pause and carefully work out which item and where to place it in order to not only gain a buff now, but help out later down the line really comes into play. To help combat this complexity, you can pick up dyes which can add and combine a specific new colour to a relic or pearl, allowing you to get out of potentially dead end zones you may have unwittingly got yourself in. All these game mechanics sync perfectly with each other and make the game more than a sum of its parts, which, once you understand how each works, makes the game incredibly fun and enjoyable. Next is graphics. Visually, I thought the isometric camera angle may lose some of that Tim Burton-esque visual style, which its predecessor was famous for. Thankfully, it doesn't, and this weird twisted macabre is cemented with each new character, enemy and biome. Speaking of which, there are 4 biomes you'll be visiting, each with their own unique take and relating to the main character's fear and history. They range from a castle, swamp, frozen mechanical wasteland, and finally something truly twisted, which I won't spoil here. Each of these biomes are truly visually stunning, and as each new room is procedurally assembled, you'll travel through them with little knowledge of what's coming next. There are, however, regular reoccurrences, like one certain NPC which will offer you rewards if you can beat them at a variety of games using your dice. Another is the vendor mentioned earlier, which will provide you with much needed items if you have the coin. Other rooms hold memories that help fill in the backstory of your protagonist, or hold camps with new NPCs ready to join you at your sanctuary. Often within some rooms are dice links, a collectible for a certain NPC that for each set found and bring back will exchange for pip dust. Destructible elements are also found within each room, often dropping coins or health pips, so thorough exploration is essential to get the most out of your run. Speaking of collectibles, character customization is also on offer, with a nice collection of skins for each part of your character, which you'll need to find as you progress. Mask, head, back, body and your companion fortune skins can all be switched out at the sanctuary to make your character truly your own. Now, whilst these provide no buffs and are nothing more but visual changes, they may affect the story in some way. Bosses are also unique but limited, and in the early stages can provide some huge challenges in working out their attack patterns. Whilst the bosses may be limited, enemy variety is far from sparse, with 30 plus unique enemy types. There are clockwork guards that lunge with spears, to flying crows that dive bomb you, and globs of living snot ready to stab you with their spikes while leaving behind poisonous pools. And don't get me started on the final biomes horrors that await for you to enjoy and encounter. This variation in the beginning seems to be the perfect amount, but as you get stronger with each run, you soon hope that the developers will add more biomes with DLC. Overall, frame rate and stability was superb, and at no point did I see tearing or popping, even on the more enemy-laden battles. And finally, sound. When it comes to music in this game, the soundtrack draws hard on piano, drums, wind chimes and guitar strings to sell this weird world. It switches from being cozy to unsettling gothic whimsy at the drop of a hat and is perfectly suited to the game's visual style. The game is fully voiced, and I absolutely love the voice actors' work in their selling of each of the twisted characters to you. Whilst Alexandra does take centre stage, for me my personal favourite was Rack, whose mechanical humour always brought a smile to my face.
Does by any chance involve pulling weapons out of your body?
Yes, be the good old Rack creation.
Sound effects, though, is what really sells the game, for its variety of 4 weapons sounding brutal in their own unique way. The hand-to-hand combat shines in each weapon's weightiness. Environmental sounds also provide an almost joyful tone as you make your way around the game's twisted world, pushing you forward as you make your way to the biome's boss. My recommendation here would be a good quality soundbar to really enjoy the quirky, haunting world in all its glory. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now, I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Lost in Random: The Eternal Die is a must own. The game is challenging and fun in equal measure, and for me is a great success in its attempt at adding more genres to the franchise. With every run I was always rewarded and could see my progression in actual real terms, which helped me return again and again to do more runs. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £19.99 or approximately $25, and depending on your skill and patience would give you about 15 plus hours worth of gameplay to complete the character's story on a standard setting. Combine this with dice slings and skins to collect and alternative endings, you could easily double that again. The game is also free on Game Pass, so for those who just want to see what it's all about, it's worth loading up. My biggest worry was that switching genres, the franchise would lose the essence of what made it appealing. This is far from the truth, and it excels in almost every aspect of a roguelite, ensuring new players are introduced to the franchise. Kudos to the developers for taking this gamble, and I look forward to what they are working on next. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.